Welcome to today's topic. Today we are discussing very important topic of the lesson, that is Wheatstone's bridge. Actually, Wheatstone's bridge is an application of Kirchhoff's rules. Okay, now let's see what is this Wheatstone's bridge. This diagram shows a simple Wheatstone's bridge. So Wheatstone's bridge consists of four resistances R1, R2, R3 and R4 connected as shown. You can see how it is connected, and there are two arms of the bridge, the arm BD and the arm AC. Okay, so the arm BD and the arm AC. AC is joined like this. Okay, you can see that it is the battery is connected in the arm AC. Battery is connected in the arm AC. So that arm we call as battery arm. So AC is called as battery arm, and BD is called, in the arm BD galvanometer is connected. So that BD is called as what? Galvanometer arm. So the four resistances connected like this forms a Wheatstone's bridge, and there are two arms of the bridge, battery arm and galvanometer arm. Okay, so battery arm is the circuit where the battery is connected, and the galvanometer arm is the circuit where the galvanometer is connected. In this Wheatstone's bridge, you can see the current sent by the battery reaching A. At the point A, it splits into I1 and I2. So current through R1 is I1 and current through R2 is I2. Okay. Now reaching B, that current through R2 it is I2, that I2 is splitting into I4, and actually a current IG is flowing through galvanometer. So actually current I2 is splitting into I4 and IG. So by Kirchhoff's law we can write what? I2 is equal to IG plus I4. Okay, by Kirchhoff's junction rule we can write that equation. Similarly, current flowing through R1 on reaching the junction D, it is flowing through I3, but it is joined, that means it is flowing through R3, but it is combined with the current from galvanometer. So at the junction D we can write I1 plus IG will be equal to I3. This is actually the case which we can, the equations which we can write from the diagram. Okay, so because the current is getting splitted like that. So current through I4 means R4 is I4 and current through R3 is I3, and I3 is equal to I1 plus IG. That's what the equation is. Now we discuss a condition. When will we say the bridge is balanced? There is a balancing condition for the bridge. The bridge is said to be balanced when no current flows through the galvanometer. When no current flows through the galvanometer, we say that the bridge is balanced. Okay, so bridge is said to be balanced when no current flows through the galvanometer. What do you mean by that? Ig is equal to 0. So we are obtaining condition for balancing in terms of R1, R2, R3 and R4 using this basic condition, that is current through the galvanometer is 0. I said I2 plus, that means I2 is splitting into I4 and IG, and IG gets added with I1 to form I3 I said. But here what is IG when the bridge is balanced? When the bridge is balanced, IG is equal to 0. So what can you conclude when the bridge is balanced? I2 is equal to I4 and I1 is equal to I3. This is only because of that balancing condition, that is Ig is equal to 0. Since Ig is equal to 0, I2 will be equal to I4 and I1 will be equal to I3. Now using this we are writing what the Kirchhoff's law equations for the loops, and we will obtain the balancing condition in terms of R1, R2 and R3. Now we will apply Kirchhoff's voltage rule to ADBA and CBDC. For this loop and for this loop we will apply KVL. That's what we are going to do. Okay, so first let us take ADBA. Now we consider ADBA. So it is what? I1 R1. So through galvanometer no current is flowing. So no need of considering the potential difference across the galvanometer. So I1 R1 minus I2 R2 will be equal to 0. That is the equation for the loop ADBA. For the loop ADBA you will get I1 R1 minus I2 R2 equal to 0. So there is a difference in sign in the equation given in the textbook. It is because of that change in concept which we took. No, for easiness I taught you another concept. That's why. So but taking one negative sign outside, no, you will get the same equation. So you write as you learned in the previous session. Okay. So what is the equation? I1 R1 minus I2 R2 equal to 0 for the loop ADBA. Now for the loop CBDC, we have the equation minus I4 R4 plus I3 R3 equal to 0. Minus I4 R4 plus I3 R3 equal to 0. But we know I4 is equal to I2 and I3 is equal to I1. So our equation becomes minus I2 R4 plus I1 R3 equal to 0. So our equation is what? Minus I instead of I4 it is I2 R4 plus I3 instead of I3 it is I1. So I1 R3 equal to 0. That is second loop equation. First loop equation you have which one? That is I1 R1 minus I2 R2 is equal to 0. These are the equations which we get for the two loops. Okay. Now, you solving this equation, what you need to do? Take I1 R1 equal to I2 R2 and I1 R3 equal to I1 R3 equal to I2 R4. Okay. Now from the two equations, dividing the two equations, so we will rewrite that equation. On rewriting that equation, we will have I1 R1 we have I1 R1 is equal to I2 R2 okay, then I1 R3 is equal to I2 R4, rewriting that two equations. Now simply divide the two equations. So I1 will get cancelled on dividing. I1 and I1 will get cancelled. I2 and I2 also will get cancelled. And what you get is the balancing condition, that is R2 by R1 or R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4 or R2 by R1 equal to R4 by R3. In any manner you can write. Okay. So the balancing condition for Wheatstone's bridge is what? R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4. So this is how we obtain balancing condition for what? Wheatstone's bridge. Basically, Wheatstone's bridge is used to find an unknown resistance. You can see in the diagram it is written unknown arm and standard arm like that. So the thing is this, in this among the four resistances, we will adjust, we will keep R1, R2 and R3 as non-resistances. We know it. Okay. And the value to be determined, the resistance to be found, we will keep in the fourth arm. So here the fourth arm is here. That is R4 is shown as the fourth arm. So as the fourth arm, we will connect to the unknown resistor. Okay. And in that itself, you have a standard arm. The thing is this, in order to repeat the experiment and all, you have to change the resistance, no. So R1 and R2 we will keep fixed resistances, and R3 we will change, like a rheostat or a changing what resistance box we will connect. So keeping the three known resistances, you can find the unknown resistance. That is the logic behind using Wheatstone's bridge to find the unknown resistance. So I repeat, among the four resistances, one will be the unknown resistor, and the other one will be standard resistor. What do you mean by standard resistor? You can change it. That is, by using a rheostat or a resistance box, you can change the value of the resistance, because you have to repeat the experiment, no, 3 or 4 times for that purpose. So by keeping different values of R3, you can find the values of R4. So that way we can determine the unknown resistance using the simple balancing condition R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4. So this is a very important topic of the chapter, Wheatstone's bridge. Now one more. So I repeat, the basic condition for balancing the bridge is galvanometer current should be equal to 0. The current through the galvanometer should be 0. When will we have that condition? When R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4, we have that condition. So one more condition we can state here. Balancing condition, it is similar to state like this. Potential at B will be equal to potential at D. See, we said no current should flow through the galvanometer. Means there should not be any potential difference between B and D. So that balancing condition can also be written as VB is equal to VD. That means potential at B will be equal to potential at D, or there is no balancing, or there is no potential difference between B and D. Okay, so this is how we state the balancing condition itself in three ways: Ig equal to 0, Vb equal to Vd, or R1 by R2 equal to R3 by R4. Okay, now when we come to practical side, that means we said no current flows through galvanometer. You have seen galvanometer, I think. Galvanometer has got a needle in the middle. Okay, we will be showing you, one day I will show you everything in the video. So in the middle we have a needle. So that needle will be showing deflection only if a current flows through the galvanometer. Depending on the direction of current, this needle which is at rest in the middle can show deflection either to left hand side or to right hand side. That is the case with a galvanometer. Okay, so no current flows through galvanometer means what? Galvanometer will not show any deflection. We say null deflection or zero deflection. So that is a word which you have to pay attention: zero deflection or null deflection. So when no current flows through the galvanometer, galvanometer pointer will not show any deflection. That condition only we call as zero deflection or null deflection. Okay, so that is how we use Wheatstone's bridge. So when we use Wheatstone's bridge to find the unknown resistance, connecting that unknown resistor in the R4th position, we have the expression for R4 as R4 is equal to R3 into R2 by R1. Okay, so that is the fundamental principle of Wheatstone's bridge. It is a very important one, 3-mark question.